Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know I haven't been here in a very long time, but today I have somebody amazing, one of my best friends, somebody I have known for 16 years. Yes, I will let her introduce herself. I'm so excited to have her.
Hi guys, I'm humbled to be part of this YouTube. Peace is Tales of Peace.
Yeah, Tales of Peace.
So we're basically friends. My name is Vanessa. I'm originally from Zambia, but I live here in Denmark.
Yeah.
And we just want to talk about how it is to have lived here for such a long time and what we have achieved and how did we do that.
Yeah,
and to give a little bit of, tips on what happened and like how to navigate the system basically and what happened to us and how did we get here.
Yay! Hey girl.
Hi. Good to see each other after a long time.
Yeah, we haven't seen each other in a long time.
Yeah.
How long have we known each other?
I think since 2008.
Yeah, 2008. So we've literally known each other almost 17 years.
Yes.
Yeah, but I just want us to reflect on our early days. Do you remember how some of the challenges we faced in our early days and some of our worries?
Yeah, I think first of all I would like to thank God that we are still here and we managed to achieve most of our dreams, because we actually were very worried, and I think at some point we questioned our ambitions.
Yeah, I remember
if we were in the right environment and the right system.
Absolutely.
And being able to achieve, I think you have 3 degrees?
Yeah, I have 3 degrees.
And I have 2 degrees, 1 master's and 1 bachelor from here.
Yeah, and I have 1 bachelor from Uganda and 2 master's degree from here.
Yes. And looking back, I think it was almost impossible.
Natasha,
we didn't have so many role models around that we could look up to. And I think as time went on, we met some people that actually inspired us to do whatever we wanted to do. But I just remember being in this really confused state of mind. I think we had these discussions what do you want to do? Do you think that it's possible? And we always actually came out and said, of course it's possible, but we were scared inside. We were not actually sure.
Yeah, we were scared, but also when we came in our early years, one of the challenges we had in our early years was sometimes people were discouraging us. When we came and we said, we want to take up this education, a master's degree, they're like, what? Why? Why don't you do this
make money
education where you can take care of the elderly people or do the cleaning? So there's a lot of discouragement.
Yes.
And sometimes that kind of felt, oh my God, what are we going to do?
Yes, it really questions your ability and also just your way of thinking, because growing up in Africa we are taught that anything is possible. You can achieve everything you want. But when you come in this environment and you meet, I think they are first generation foreigners who have not really settled and integrated. And
not only that, they don't have the ambition. That's what I think sometimes.
and they are to go to is just go and make money, whatever it takes.
Quick money.
If it gives you money, then that's good enough. But we wanted more, and I think we suffered more because of that.
Yes, that is true. But but now look at us, where we have reached.
Yes,
guys. It's exciting because now we can also say no to jobs.
Exactly. We literally have to say, okay, this is the job I want, and this one I actually don't want. You can hire me, but I don't want.
Yeah, can you believe it? We are able to say no to jobs and say, no, I want a professional job. I want a job that I studied for.
Exactly.
And yet in the early years, it was about making quick money, sending home and doing all the things. So it's exciting to see the growth that we have undergone over the years.
Sometimes I look back and I actually just cry because I'm so grateful.
Absolutely.
I'm actually really grateful that I met you, because you are one of those people who didn't give up on your dreams.
Thank
and
you.
Who actually so I'm really grateful, not only because God blessed me with everything that I've achieved in this country, but I'm grateful that I met you.
Oh, you're so sweet.
I think the people that you surround yourself with are very important earlier on in your journey, in your career, and in everything.
Absolutely.
The fact that you were there to tell me that, you know what, you can do this.
Yeah, we can do this.
Yeah, you know, we can do this. We can conquer the system. We can conquer the culture.
Yeah.
We can achieve our dreams, but we can also live our lives, not just surviving, you know? That really means a lot. And when I look back in my earlier days in Denmark, I think about all the discussions. Remember all the phone calls we had?
Yeah.
Like, we're just calling each other and checking on each other, like, how are you doing? You're like, okay, I'm struggling, but you know, I finished my Danish. I've enrolled into
it's there.
Yeah, so I remember having these phone calls because after we met, I moved to Copenhagen, right?
Yeah, you did.
And it was kind of a distant friendship. We would call each other and talk for hours and like just catch up on what was going on in our lives, you know?
Yeah, I think one of the main things we really that took up our time was because the system of education is so different. And most of the projects are very scientific, how they write them.
Yes.
So we were always discussing about the theory, the methodology, and all those
Yes, the
things.
methodology, actually, I think that was also one of the biggest challenges.
Yeah.
Because the way you do it in Africa, it's much more different than here.
Yeah.
Even though in the end we actually did like it. The way you do it in Africa, it's like you write a project, you know, you are given notes. But here you have to go in the field, you have to do some interviews, and the analysis part of it, you have to be critical. You can't just outline what is the
what
correct
the
way.
Said.
You have to make an argument, you know, like what are the, you know, advantages of this theory and disadvantages, and how does it fit to the context that you are actually trying to analyze. So that was a little bit challenging for me. And I think that is also challenging for most students coming from Africa, because you really have to be critical. Like,
critical
there's
thinking.
critical thinking, and there's a lot of research. You have to be very comfortable with going into the field. You know, you can't just use the textbooks that are there provided for you. You have to really find different
and also the theories,
resources.
You have to test the theories.
Yes.
And sometimes you have to agree or disagree. Or sometimes when you use the theories, you're going to discover something new out of it.
Exactly.
And then you must include that and make a recommendation about that.
And also, I mean, I remember in my master's, you can actually add something to the theory that you have discovered that you think that in this context, it could be, you know, useful to further do a research.
And also the writing, you need to quote. You cannot just bring a text and say and write, for example, what would we say? Globalization did this and that. No, who said it? Who did the research about it? So you have to
So you have to give credit. And
absolutely.
Citations are very, very important in your work.
And that was very difficult at the start.
Yes, because like that would be plagiarism if you just said it like it was your own work that you did,
without telling where you got this information or the source of information, or giving credit to the original person.
I think I understand, because if you just say things as they are, first of all, you are trying to steal somebody's work.
Absolutely.
And secondly, it's because that work was actually tested and it was approved.
Yes.
So you are not just speaking out of the ordinary, like, okay, you are just making an assumption, but it's actually something that was researched and it's proven. So
oh my God, when I remember some of the terminologies, strangulation, social constructivism, and can you bring them up? Oh my God, these things, we used to scratch our heads writing these research papers. But
so it's not really the education that is hard, it's actually the method that they are using that would really make you think, okay, am I clever enough?
It's because most of us who come from most African countries, we use a banking system of education.
Yes.
As opposed to a problem-oriented system of education here in Denmark. So with a banking system of education, the teacher just teaches you, you cram whatever the teacher has taught you, and you reproduce. And if you're the best at reproducing or cramming, then you're the most clever. Here, you're not going to do that. If you cram and reproduce, then you fail.
So you just bank on what you are given. You just take that and store it, and then you can reproduce it as you have received it. But here you have to critique. You have to actually, you can even come up with your own solution.
Information to come up with. You have to use the information that you've been taught or given to come up with something new.
Yes.
Come up with your own analysis of things and not just agree or but you have to do your own research.
Yes, and I think what you mentioned is also very important, the problem solving. I remember when I was at CBS, what really inspired me and what really interested me was that we were taught to solve problems.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, so if you are banking on a theory that you were taught in 1970, and does not apply to the current situation, environment, or circumstances, then it really is not useful. You can't really use it to solve a problem that is here and now.
Absolutely.
So you have to say, okay, this is how it was developed, but over the period of time, this is what has changed, and this is how you can apply it in this kind of situation.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, but in the end, in the start it was difficult, but in the end, having gone through this education system, I am so grateful because it has taught us to be critical analysts.
Absolutely.
We just don't look at things and just leave it like that. We are going to turn it left, right, analyze it, and all those things.
I have been taught that I'm very, very, how can I say? I argue a lot, but it's not really arguing. It's like you are trying to understand why does it work like that, in what situation. It can't be in all. Like when I travel to Africa, when somebody tells me something and I'm like, okay, what is your source, and in what kind of situation? Not all situations are applicable when it comes to a certain method. So it gives you critical thinking, but it also gives you a mindset of your own. You are not just following things.
Thinking.
You know. And when you look at a problem, you think, okay, I can look at it, I can solve this. So the education system here, the fact that it's based on critical thinking, it gives you the ability to look at a problem from different angles. Like when you look at a situation, you think, okay, how can I solve this problem? You can look at it from different angles, you know, and you think, okay, there are 3 possibilities of solving this problem, but what's the best solution based on where I am in this environment, the kind of situation I'm in? What kind of solution would be suitable? And is it short term? And that's another thing. Is it short term or is it long term? What am I trying to solve here? So all those things, they really help in the sense that you really want to be thorough in solving your problems. You don't want to do the same, solve the same problem over and over again. And
actually reminded me about something, like also back in the days when the NGO work, they always did a top-bottom approach.
That's like, oh my God.
But with this kind of method of solving problems, then you realize the top-bottom approach doesn't work. It has to be from bottom to the top, from the grassroots to the top. Because
so you engage the stakeholders as well.
You engage the stakeholders.
So it's
from
not just like the high people in the position, the top
making
position,
the decisions,
giving the orders
without them being on
the field, and also engaging the stakeholders. Because sometimes, like because I studied IT, so when you're implementing an IT system, you go and if the top management says, okay, everybody has to use Excel in this company. Like, okay, so I'm just a normal employee, for example. I have to use Excel because my boss said that. But then if they didn't come and sell it to you and tell you that the reason why you're going to use Excel these are the benefits and this is how it's going to improve your work. And also just having that conversation from the bottom with the having a stakeholders engagement program earlier on is very important. Like you said, it doesn't have to be top bottom. So when we talk about top bottom, we turn it around. We say, okay, let's start from the bottom. Let's engage these people who are using this tool that we want to implement in the company. And when you sell it to the stakeholders, you make them understand, like I said earlier, that these are the benefits and you are actually a stakeholder. We are not forcing you to use this thing, but we want to have a dialogue where we can implement this thing and then you can benefit and make your work more effective. Because I see a lot of projects where people, you have a very good idea, but because you didn't really start from the bottom, you didn't
engage people from the
you didn't really give them the benefit, and also just like you might think the solution is Excel, but it's not Excel, because when you start from the bottom, you understand people's problems.
So that's also part of leadership and management.
Exactly. You just it's very, very important that you actually have an engagement with all the stakeholders that you are, or dialogue rather, that you are working with.
Absolutely agree with you. But girl, we are here. I'm just excited. Like sometimes I look at her, I look at some of my friends that we've come a long way from the early days, but look at us. Here we are. Now we can pay our own bills.
Yes. And we can buy whatever we want, basically.
We are living in Denmark.
The things that we can afford, not a boat or a plane.
And we are paying our own bills.
That was the dream.
And when we came, we were so young. We were in our 20s, very naive. Oh my God.
I think also
so look at us years later.
Years later.
We are thriving.
Yes, we are, basically just really, really grateful that we made it this far. Yeah. We didn't build a plane, but we navigated the system and we achieved most of our dreams.
Yes, we are fully integrated. Yeah. We speak the language. We are able to work.
Yeah, so it was worth it.
Yeah, it was worth it.
In the end.
In the end. Otherwise, guys, thank you so much for being here for this chat. Yes. I have enjoyed having my friend. Thank you so much for being here. Please tell a friend to tell a friend. Please subscribe. Come here. We're going to have some amazing conversations.
Tales of peace, right?
Subscribe and do to the video.